Today, we're going to talk about how to shape your plants for the most and highest quality tops possible. Hey, but before we do, today's video is brought to you by Real Growers Recharge. If you want stronger, healthier plants, if you want bigger roots for better fruits, you gotta check out Real Growers Recharge. It's like an instant compost tea that holds more nutrients at your root zone, breaks those nutrients down, and makes them more plant available, getting more of your nutrients into your plants. Find out more about Recharge over at realgrowers.com. And while you're there, use coupon code Scotty420 to get 20% off your first order. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Hi-C, you ready?
Yeah, so you kind of touched on this last week or last episode. We
Sure.
were talking about the pruning and you were talking about making sure that when you shape your plants, you get the most amount of tops possible.
Yes.
Before we jump into it, why are we looking for a lot of tops?
That's where it's going to get the most amount of course, it's going to get the most amount of light, but also nutrient feeds up from the roots, and then it goes up to, it's called the apical meristem, the apex, and then meristem is just a type of tissue, basically, that can become anything.
That central stem.
Yes, the apical meristem, I just think of it as the highest point on the plant. Mm-hmm. And in nature, yeah, you might have certain types of, certain strains that will just develop one giant top cola. Mm-hmm. That's great out in nature in the sun. What I want to do is level my canopy out. So instead of one giant cola that I have to raise my light really high, far away from everything else, I can have a even canopy, maybe a 4x4 canopy or whatever the size that I want with multiple tops. So I want to redistribute that, the auxins and growth hormones, they're going straight up to the top. So I want to see if I can get them instead to go through multiple tops, man.
Okay, and I'm thinking if we've got one top that's shooting straight up above the rest of the plant, it's getting a much more intense light than everything down at the lower canopy level. So we're trying to get kind of like an even light distribution for all of the tops.
Yes.
So if we've got it tuned in perfectly for that big one, we're not getting the right amount down lower.
Absolutely. Okay. And we don't want that one top getting a lion's share of everything. We want to equally distribute it out.
All right, so keeping an even canopy for your grow is tip number one. What's the next pruning tip for making sure that you're getting the most out of your next grow?
I'd get rid of the popcorn and the larf. Anything that you're not going to want to smoke, why bother growing it? When I think of that apical meristem, I think of all that nutrient going to the top. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking of like a delivery truck, maybe, If it's got to stop at all these, these tiny little spots and drop a little bit of nutrient here, a little bit of nutrient there, there's not going to be 100% of it when it gets to those tops.
Okay, so when I'm looking at a good stretched out canopy and I see these big budding sites up at the top, and then a little bit lower down on the plant, I'm seeing just tiny little buds growing here and there. I notice sometimes the stems that they're growing on are kind of weaker.
I think of it like plumbing pipe. My dad was a plumber back in the day, and a little 3/8 inch or 1/4 inch plumbing line, you're not going to get much water or nutrient through. A big 4-inch main line, you're going to get a ton of nutrient through that. And just look at your plants and look at look at its structure that way. And if you've got a bunch of teeny tiny little buds coming off these tiny little lines, I would get rid of them. They're taking energy, maybe not a ton of energy, but they are taking energy, and why not direct that energy up to the tops?
The other thing that I notice too is a lot of times they're kind of on the underside of my plant. So they're not getting as much light, they're not getting the right airflow. And so really they're just robbing. And so you're saying just cut them out, get rid of them.
Yeah, and what you just said about airflow is big too, because now you've got something that you're not going to want to smoke. They're just robbing nutrition from your tops that you're going to want to smoke, and now it's going to cause problems. You're not getting airflow in there. That's a place where the bugs and the molds and the mildews start. So
microclimate.
Yeah, when you have a leaf laying on another leaf, it's not the same climate as it is out in, where you're measuring your temperature and humidity. It's much different there.
So all of those popcorn bud sites, just get rid of them. Don't even try and get anything out of them.
Yeah, I say focus your energy. Thank you.
Okay. And then the last thing And I guess this comes with a warning: don't poke your eyes out. But you you like to stake your plants. I've also seen people use these kind of like net looking
Trellis.
things.
Yeah, you can either stake or trellis. I use bamboo stakes because I want to be able to move the plant around. Once you use a trellis, it is
plant's
stuck.
locked
It
in
is
there.
stuck in place. Yeah. So I'm crawling down below to trim up the larf. I don't want to crawl down below. I want to take the plant. I will say, if you are going to use bamboo stakes, you can go to Home Depot and because you can poke your eye out. Really easy with them. So if you are going to use bamboo stakes, you can get rebar. I can't remember. The rebar caps is what they are. And I don't know if you know what rebar is. It's like that metal bar that they use in construction sites and concrete construction. So they figured out those things will go right through your hand or through your body. So they put caps on them. I bought 100 pack of them for a few bucks, and it's been a savior.
I've seen people use ping pong balls and styrofoam balls as well.
Yes, but rebar caps you can get for $5 for 100 of them. Easy to do.
And what's the point of the trellis or the staking? How does it help me yield more?
We want more of our plant exposed to good quality light and good environment. So by opening it up, we're stretching that plant out, and now the plant can get that good light. It can get direct light. It doesn't have leaves laying on it anymore, on top of it anymore. So yeah, it's getting better climate. It's getting better CO2 and airflow and all the things that are going to make these high quality flowers.
Nice.
But those are my 3 tips for maxing out your next harvest. But what about you? Have you got a tip for getting more bud per plant? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and check out the other couple of videos YouTube's recommending. I hope you like them.